Well, we made it to the 12th bar of the 12 months of soap. It's the December bar. I did weird stuff with this soap, okay? It's weird. There's glitter in there, and I think some of it might be glow in the dark. I just abandoned the idea of even doing swirls in the middle and decide it's a journey, and I'm going to tell you all about the journey, the infusions, the thankfulness, all the things in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. You are here for the 12th bar of 12 months of soap, I think day 9 of 10 days of thanks, and we are making the December bar. The December bar is going to have weird stuff with pine needles. I have a lot of pine trees on my property too. I live in the forest, like a forest in the middle of a city. It's weird. But anyway, so we did some stuff with trees, not the trees that are being cut down right now. And one of those things that I decided to do was let's get some pine needles, right? Because pine tar sap's a whole thing, and we've done all that and we've talked about that. But what else can you do? Because you know how the needles themselves, they're really oily and they can get sticky. And you know how the branches themselves, they're real oily and they can get sticky. I wanted to play with it. And so I did a lot of fun chemistry experiments and all the things with the pine needles and the branches and just general weirdness with evergreens, you know? And I'm going to talk about it while we make this soap. The soap, as I said, strange. The scent is not strange. It's beautiful. It's a crisp cedar grove from Sierra Candles, and I know I did a video on that last year because it was amazing. I had to test these scents, had to give you guys my opinions, and for sure this one I did. I bought it. I had to do it. So yes, that we're gonna go the pouring, and I'm going to tell you all about all the weird stuff that I ended up doing with this series with the evergreen. You know, you get it. We're gonna go make some soap. Okay, final soap. I'm super excited about it. We are going to be doing the holiday bar, the December bar, the Christmas bar. And so we're going to make it look kind of like, Christmas, I guess. If your version of Christmas is red, green, and white, because, those are the colors that I'm using. I am going to be putting some weird sparkles into all of it as well. And definitely look at that in the cut and see how well the sparkles survived, because I did use a mica from Mad Micas for that. The scent I'm using is Crisp Cedar Grove from Sierra Candles. We did do this in a test last year and it was freaking amazing. Everything about it was just the most delightful scent forever, like across the board. Did so well in soaps. Absolutely delightful. If you haven't picked it up, if it's still available, you should get it. And, start prepping your Christmas soaps. I don't know. It's February, but is it ever too early? Most of us are always doing it too late, you know? So I'll be working with the Sparkle Sunshine for the glittery parts and putting a fairly heavy amount in there. Wow, look at me go. Probably above usage recommendations, I would suggest. I don't really know. But that's what I'm doing. And we'll be using Voodoo for the pink along with a little bit of I think probably I'll end up putting some sort of bronze in there like I did for yesterday's soap, but time will tell. And Maniacal Pea for the green. And again, the Crisp Cedar Grove. And we'll be working with the oil solution, which is going to be the basic, nope, my Lots of Lather blend. So my big bubble blend, it is 30% coconut oil, 30% olive, 30% palm, 5% shea, 5% castor oil, and I will be soaping this at 5%. And the big inclusion with this in the lye solution is going to be pine needles in the lye solution. So I did some cool stuff with evergreens when I was messing around with that because, I have a lot of trees and I'm just getting weird throughout this whole project of what kind of weird stuff can we put in soap, that was 2024. And while I was out collecting maple leaves, I went, oh, huh, look at all these hedges I have, you know? And they're just little evergreens. I don't ask me what kind. They're pine of some sort, but I don't know trees, bushes. I don't know any of that. So anyway, one of the things that I did was, I mean, the very first thing that I did for pine stuff was kind of obvious. I just took some sprigs of the pine, needles, whatever, and I put them into the lye solution. Just put the water in, put the lye in, and then put them in a lye solution. And it worked a lot like a lot of the other compounds that we've seen. So it definitely discolors the lye solution. As you can see within all of this, it doesn't super discolor the batter. And so we are going to end up with being able to get white out of all of it, which is cool. Hello, shaking camera. That's awesome for me. The the footage after we finish 10 Days of Thanks is much better, I promise, guys. I promise. But anyway, so it didn't change the color really with the batter, and it functioned a lot like a lot of things that we've seen before, namely with like teas, because, and I think it really has a lot to do with probably like the terpenes and like the tannins and stuff that exist within that can be extracted with an alkaline solution from the pine needles. But also, I did notice that there was oiliness within the lye solution itself. So it did have like an oil skim on the top, but it wasn't anything that had like turned into soap and gone chunky. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a saponification. So I'm going to go with those are some sort of unsaponifiables, which can be kind of tough because we have shea in this, right? And isn't shea butter the one that has like a higher amount of unsaponifiable, oils than the others? Gosh, you know what? Maybe I know this and I'm just asking you to see. You know what I mean? To make sure that you're always up on your game. I don't remember at this point, but I'm fairly certain, 95% certain that shea is the one that has a lot of unsponifiables. So that can be a high super fat. Higher super fat is mostly the point of that. Yes. And yeah, so on to the pour with all of this. Well, we continue to talk about the pine needles. That's kind of all I did with the pine. I mean, I dried them out in the dehydrator and like ground them down and tried to do an infusion. And I don't I don't know. I guess it did something, but I don't know what that something was. And I don't super know the benefits of pine needles themselves. But when you start to look at like pine tars and resins and stuff, you can sort of logic out that, oh, yeah, well, I mean, this could be a benefit. But when you use pine tar, use a fairly high amount of pine tar, And so basically, at the end of all of that, whether I was doing infusions or whether I was putting it into my lye solution, I ultimately decided that the pine needles themselves, even though there is some sort of extraction that's coming, I don't know that it's enough to make it as beneficial or more beneficial than just doing a pine tar soap. I suppose one of the benefits would be it's not super dark and smelly looking, like the pine tar soaps can be. So that's a benefit, but again, I don't know that we're really extracting enough to matter. I think we have to be using it in higher quantities. It was an interesting experiment, though. For the picture that I post for the membered sudsers today, I will post a picture of the lye solution that I put into a different container thing so you can see just how much it's separated from the pine needle. Yeah, all that. I didn't put it into this because it's on another device and I'm not moving it over. So there's that. I will do that from my phone for the members only post for the 9th day of thanks to enter into the giveaway. So that'll be a lot of fun. Now, I guess I didn't put anything else into this voodoo. So I guess we're just going to leave it with pink. Does Crisp Cedar have a vanillin content? Is it going to get darker? That's interesting. Yes, no, I am confused about this. So if this is your first time watching, here's the thing about this soap. I made it a long time ago. A. My notes are not in front of me. 2. There is no C, I suppose. So I don't really remember what I did. I will go back to my files and double check before I send them out to all the sudsers, so all of the micas are appropriately labeled on the soaps, of course. But at this exact moment, looks like I just rolled with voodoo, but I swear I just looked at those soaps and it's not pink, it's red. So there's that. Maybe it's the discoloration of the pine. Wouldn't make any sense. Look how white that batter is. Anyway, this batter has all of the sparkles in it. And you can definitely see the sparkles laying down within all of that, which is a lot of fun. It's so rare that I ever actually use sparkles and glitter and stuff in soap. A, because most of the time you're not supposed to. Like most of the time they're not rated for skin use. This one probably is. Now that I'm sitting here actually recording this, about to put this out on the internet with my whole chest and go, look what I did. I'm not 100% sure that this is rated for soaps. Well, we'll have to double check that, I suppose. Also, I guess it's good that we have these packages are going to the sudsers. And so if I swap out one for of these, if it's like some terrible thing that glitter is bad or whatever, then you'll understand. I'm not selling these. You know what I mean? But there's that. And so the Maniacal Pea, also a very bright green. So I guess we're going with a bright, like very vibrant Christmas as opposed to traditional dark green and dark red. Which, I'm into, I suppose. Again, just kind of still confused about that voodoo and it going to change. And I put some champagne sparkles. Here Comes the Bride. It's one of the whites. One of the white. So that must mean that the crisp cedar has vanillin content and discolors. Otherwise, I would not have put more white mica into soap. You know what I mean? Because usually I use the kaolin clay. I use a crepe ton of kaolin clay in all of my recipes, so it usually gets the white that I need. The only time that I ever would put something else in, like a titanium dioxide or a mica, would be to just really try to offset the discoloration that could occur from from the fragrance. And so that must be what's going on. So that must be why they end up darker. Because I swear they do end up darker. I don't know. I could be proven to be accurate and honest or to be a liar in about, 1 minute's time after we're done with all of this pouring. So, stay tuned. But this batter itself, as you can see, it's not thickening up in any weird degrees. And we're also not seeing any un- uncomfortable, I suppose, separation. And so that's good. That's a good thing. When I worked with these pine, infusions and everything, like I said, I think I did like 3 soaps with all of it. So it's not really stuck in my mind. I know that I have notes somewhere, but I didn't remember any sort of bad experience or any sort of particularly good experience. Because again, if what we're getting out of this is like the tannins or a firmer bar or a shinier bar or whatever, things that you can get from banana peels or from doing tea infusions, then I don't know that we really need to put the pine needles in, because you can also be putting in like the phenols and stuff, which can be a skin sensitizer for people. So probably not with pine needles, I guess, would be the thing that I would say. I mean, if you want to try it, go ahead. But this is like easily the most boring, not cool or significant botanical infusion or inclusion that we have played with on the channel ever. And we've played with some really weird ones. This one was just meh. Okay, and onto the cut and see, it's darker. Buddy, that voodoo is darker. Like by a lot. And the Maniacal Pea, I suppose, is darker too. It's not nearly as bright and vibrant as it was when we were pouring it wet. And so, yeah, I suppose I could just rewind a little bit and look at the crisp Cedar Grove. I don't know. I don't remember it having a vanillin content. I'm flummoxed. Anyway, it was C-popped, it was gelled, all of the things. And as you saw with the pour, and I didn't really talk about it, I was intentionally laying down these layers to almost be like a thin lines pour or the pointy layers pour, right? So just keeping really thin batter and just very lightly going over the top in long motions, back and forth, to lay my batter on top of the previous color and just allowing it to kind of like poke through a little bit with the layer so you get kind of a wave-ish effect. I wanted to do that because I don't know, kind of wanted to look like something on a Christmas tree. I was thinking maybe sort of tinsel or your garland. I have cranberry garland, so it's like cranberry garland and then lights and then tree. Could have been what I was going for. And the white of the bar is just honestly because I don't have enough all white bars in the line. Everything ended up pretty vibrant throughout the whole, 12 months. And so doing white, I suppose snow for, December or whatever, but the effect would have been better if I was going for, cranberry garland lights and then like pieces of the tree if I had done darker greens on the top and the bottom. But this works out too. Some people have flocked trees. Flocked trees are beautiful, by the way. I can't commit. They seem like they're messy. But yeah, this particular soap, it did cut very beautifully. It's a very firm bar of soap. This is just the day after it was poured, so maybe 12 hours after I poured. I did C-pop it, I did gel it, and this is the end result. Very, very firm bar of soap, very smooth bar of soap, and it has a beautiful hand feel to it right away. And again, this is what we're going to be getting from, the tannins that are within all of this, which you can get from, tea and stuff. So, not quite sure about that. I do really like the little pointy layers though. They're super cute. And the middle area there with the glitter, super adorable. I love that. And it looks like the champagne or the Here Comes the Bride or whatever else I put in there also end up going through the whole thing as well. So that's fun. I like that. And I do see glycerin rivers going on in the top and the bottom. So we've got glycerin rivers in both places. You're going to get glycerin rivers when you're working with whites. Well, micas tend to have titanium dioxide within them to do their coloring as well. And so if you have a lot of water within a soap recipe and you're using your titanium dioxide and you're C-popping and you're gelling, you're more likely to get your glycerin rivers, which I really enjoy quite a bit. I know a lot of people don't like it as much, and so that would be a reason that you would want to take the water content down. Mayhaps, mayhaps. But I don't. I soap it 2.4 times the water to lye, and that works out for me because I make clay soaps. But that is a beautiful soap, even, including the texture of the glycerin rivers. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. 100%. So all I added into that white area that has all the big sparkles that looks actually kind of beigey was just those goldy sparkles. And so that's how we accomplished that. It doesn't change, doesn't look much different than the white around it, but that's okay. It is different enough that I think the mind just sort of fills in the blanks. Regardless, I think it's very beautiful. This is a very, very pretty bar of soap. Good way to end the year with, the 12 months of soap and all the things. So, December bar, nice, bright, clean, cold smell with the crisp cedar grove and the beautiful bright with the shimmer and everything because 'tis the season. We have twinkle lights everywhere. We have holiday trees. We have, prezzies and, red and green if you're into that sort of thing. So then we're working with January, February, March. Is that April? Why am I putting them on so weird? January, February, March, April. Is that May? That's not May. I'm so confused. Look, even me is confused. Okay. Okay. Are we going to figure it out? It's awesome. You've only done this for 10 videos. Yeah, it's great. This is another situation where I could just rewind, like me, this old me right here that's struggling to put everything together. I could have just gone and looked at a video that I just filmed because I cut all these, poured them all same day, cut them all next day. You know what I mean? Mostly. I mean, I think it was like over a 3-day period. But I could have just gone and looked at the camera roll because I'm certain they weren't off of the camera at this point and gone, oh, okay, this is the pattern. But I think we got it. January, February, March. April is green. May. The June is purple because it's my month. July was the weird green watermelon. August. September, October. Yeah, I figured it out. And then we have the big bright one for November. The September, October, November bars are easily my favorite. And also, I think probably the March. No, February. That was beautiful too. March is beautiful as well. They're all beautiful. Look what a fun job, beautiful job I did. You know? That's a gorgeous little theme set right there. For sure, for sure. I'm into it. I don't know. Tell me what you think. 10 lucky sudsers get a whole set of all of these, you know? So that's really cool. They can definitely tell us what they think too when they get them in their hands. But for now, that is it for all of the 12 months of soaps. And we only have one more day left for Project Soapway. Project Soapway announcements coming for 10 days of thanks. Okay, let's go back to my face. I'm wild today. And there it is, the December soap. And you know what? Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's not the thing. It's not the three. You know, it ends up almost being 4 equal parts of white and then like the stuff that has the glitter and then the red and the green and the white. So that's not 4. But yeah, it doesn't actually match, you know, the whole thing, but I think it's cute. And it looks almost like, you know, tinsel or garland or something on a Christmas tree. I think it works, you know? And so I'm glad that when you see them all together, it's all done. That's the part that I'm glad about because getting videos out is, I thought it was going to be so much easier. 2025 got crazy, you know? Anyway, so yeah, that's it. The 10 days of thanks is almost done because we are done with the 12th bar of soap. We're not done yet. We have one more day, but for today's soap, Membered Sudsers, you know the drill. Go to the community tab, find the post for today, follow the instructions, and you're entered to win one of 10 gift sets of the 12 months of soap. You can't get this anywhere else. Only this. That's all there is. What I'm making for the channel is what I'm giving to the Sudsers. So that's very cool. Sudsers, thank you so much for being you. You guys are really amazing, epic humans. I am glad that you exist in my life. I'm glad that you exist in my life. That's it. Yeah, that's it. No other notes. I don't need to really expand on that because I think that covers it all. I will be back tomorrow for, I think, a stamping video, and I'm going to do the rest of the kind of just like a fast, you know, breakdown of everything else that I kind of worked on year 4. And if you're actually interested in any of this content, I can just dump it. It's kind of unedited and just ramble over it. You know what I mean? For the members, for all the weird tests and crap that I did. I can do that. As far as editing it into like proper videos, it doesn't really make a lot of sense because that was year 4 content and year 5 content is different. And speaking of different, you should have multiple members only videos by now talking about how everything's different, talking about the first Project Soapway for the year, talking about the thing that I did to solve all the problems, you know, all of them just in the world. I figured that out, and it's in a members only vid. So sucks to suck if you're not a member. I don't know. But anyway, Sudsers, Membered Sudsers, Sudsers, all of the Sudsers, thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And thank you for joining me for this 10 days of thanks, 12 months of soap. And I'll be back tomorrow for the final day of the 10 days of thanks. Not in general, not permanent, you know, of soapy fun. Bye.